Szczerbiak grew up in the New York suburb of Long Island. His father, Walter, was a basketball star in Spain. Here's Wally's story with a big assist from the Szczerbiak family, who supplied some precious home video.
I can remember that when I first could walk, I was shooting baskets on the refrigerator with those suction cup hoops.
One of the first things he said from his crib was ball. That was one of the first words he learned. As a kid, he would love to come to my games when I was playing at Real Madrid. He would sit with his mom. Despite the fact that the gym was really, really loud, he didn't seem to mind, even as a little baby. So when we went back to Spain, I always brought a little Nerf basket with us, and he really spent a lot of fun hours practicing and playing on that thing.
The best thing about my relationship with my father was when he retired, he didn't quit playing. He still played 3 to 4 nights a week in different leagues on the island. I would always go with him, watch him play, go hang out with the guys, grab a hamburger and a Coke afterwards with him. And I just loved being around him and being around the game.
He would enjoy shooting around when there was a break in the action, the timeouts, or when there was halftime. He would always be out there shooting his little shot.
I always used to tease him and harass him when he would ever miss a shot. I would go to all his games, and he would end up...
You heckled your father?
Of course. He would end up with 32, 35 points, and he shot incredible percentages. He would shoot like 15 for 18, 15 for 19, and those 3-4 shots that he missed, I would let him hear about it.
My worst critic in those days was my little boy, who seemed to count every one of my misses.
He never does that to me. That's one thing that I appreciate, and maybe I deserve it a little bit as much as I've done it to him, but he's always been very supportive of me. It seems like yesterday, watching the NCAAs this year has been a lot of fun for me, and it brings back unbelievable memories. I remember those times, and they were the times that really vaulted me into this position.
The Minnesota Timberwolves select Wally Szczerbiak from Miami University.
I knew if I ended up there that it would be a great situation. It was the one team that really was going to be a winner.
After you're drafted by the Timberwolves, you got an early chance to play with Kevin Garnett when you played with the Olympic qualifying team. He said his first impression of you was pretty boy.
His whole persona was all laid back, not really energetic. Didn't really know how hard he worked. Got to see how he is, when someone goes at him, because a couple guys challenged him, and he stood up. And I walked away from that just that one day, like, wow. My perception was totally wrong.
Now, he came into the NBA out of high school, and you went to 4 years of college at Miami of Ohio. In what ways are you guys, you're only 10 months apart, but are there some ways in which he's older and you're younger, or vice versa? He's
much older as far as basketball and the NBA, because he's been in the league for 5 years.
I never look at, myself as, even though I am, I'm a vet, so whenever I feel like, telling them something, I'm not just, jabbing it off, I'm telling them for a reason.
The funny thing about Kevin is he's always telling me stuff, and I think he wonders whether I listen to him as much as I do.
Sometimes I'm like, well, you listen to me? I'm like, yeah, I hear you. I hear you. He'll repeat what I said. And I was like, oh, because you're looking at the water, you're drinking Gatorade, what I'm saying to tell you.
He might not think I'm listening, but I really am. And everything that he tells me, I really take to heart. And this is something I always used to do when I was a kid. My dad would tell me to work on my left hand. I would say, no, I don't need to. I'm good at it. But then, 5 minutes later, I'd be working on lefty layups. Did you learn the game from watching your father, but also did you watch other professional players? When I was younger, my dad would always say, when you watch games, pick out the great players, copy their moves, and see how they can be successful. And that's one thing I've always done, watch them play and seen how they've been successful. I've also copied a lot about how my dad played, and he was a great shooter, and that's probably why I turned out to be a great shooter. More so than all the basketball knowledge he passed down onto me, he just taught me how to be a good person. Both my father and my mother raised me very, very well. I have my priorities in order and know what I want to get out of life. I'm very thankful for what I've been given, and just look forward to giving back. Welcome back.